Some faces arrive on television and immediately feel familiar, as if the audience has known them longer than the credits allow. The smile is easy. The energy is open. The culture decides, almost overnight, that this is the girl next door. What it rarely stops to notice is how early the work began, and how deliberately she later chose to keep growing past the first version people fell in love with. That is Tiffani Thiessen. She was born Tiffani Amber Thiessen in 1974 in Long Beach, California. Her mother was a homemaker. Her father designed parks and landscapes. She grew up with brothers, one of whom became a professional cyclist. As a child she entered beauty pageants and began modeling. An uncle suggested she try acting. Commercials followed. By the late 1980s she had landed the role that would define a generation of Friday nights. Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell. Kelly was the popular girl who somehow remained kind. She was the cheerleader, the student council type, the one the boys competed for and the audience trusted. Thiessen played her with a natural ease that made the character feel lived in rather than performed. For 4 seasons and the related films, she was the center of a show that became pure 1990s nostalgia almost as soon as it finished airing. The fame was immediate and specific. She became a teen idol in the classic sense, recognized, admired, and fixed in a particular moment of cultural memory. She could have stayed inside that image. Instead she left. In 1994 she joined Beverly Hills 90210 as Valerie Malone, a character written with sharper edges and more complicated motives. The move was deliberate. Valerie was not the girl next door. She was restless, sometimes destructive, and far less interested in being liked. The contrast gave Thiessen room to show range. She stayed with the series for several seasons, long enough to prove the earlier role had not been a limit. When she left 90210, she kept working, films, guest spots, a lead in the action series Fastlane, and later a substantial run as Elizabeth Burke on White Collar. The latter role, spanning years, showed a different kind of presence, steady, adult, and quietly authoritative. Along the way she simplified her professional name, dropping the amber that had been part of the early credits. She married actor Brady Smith in 2005. They have 2 children. The family life has remained largely private. She has spoken occasionally about the strange experience of growing up on camera and the freedom that came with eventually choosing projects that fit a later stage of life. In the late 2010s she returned to a warmer, maternal role in Alexa and Katie, earning a Daytime Emmy nomination and showing once again that she could inhabit the next chapter without forcing a reinvention. The public still carries the early images. The high school hallway, the cheerleading uniform, the easy smile of Kelly Kapowski. Those pictures circulate because they captured something genuine about a particular time. Yet the longer career has been about refusing to remain only that. From the teen idol to the more complex young woman on 90210, from the action roles to the long-running drama and the later comedy, Thiessen has treated each phase as a continuation rather than a correction. She has not spent decades explaining the first version of herself. She has simply kept working, kept choosing, and kept a private life that does not require constant public narration. Tiffani Thiessen's story is not one of dramatic collapse or triumphant return. It is the quieter, more sustained story of someone who became famous very young, absorbed the attention, and then decided the attention did not have to define every year that followed. From the Long Beach girl who entered pageants and commercials to the actress who moved from Saved by the Bell to Beverly Hills 90210 to White Collar and beyond, she has shown that it is possible to grow up in public without remaining frozen in the first frame. The early images still have power. The more interesting fact is that she never let them become the only ones.